It's been quite a while actually since I've been so smitten by a luxury sedan. And you know, as I say these words, I realize that that's completely untrue. Late last year I drove the Genesis G90 and it blew my mind. So what am I saying? Am I saying that Genesis makes some of the best, most comfortable and attractive luxury sedans you could buy with your hard-earned money today? Let's do the usual walk around of this beautiful 2021 Genesis G80 and take it for a spin, and I think you'll understand that that might be true. I've been accused many times in the past of getting a little too excited about certain cars. And yes, that's absolutely true. I mean, this job that I have is a passion of mine. I love cars. However, over the past 20 plus years of doing this job, I've not often been completely blown away, enamored by a sedan. Myself, I'm more of a hatch guy, be it a wagon or a 5-door hatchback or whatnot. But seriously, this 2021 Genesis G80 is stunning. Genesis designers have done something that I didn't think was possible, or more precisely, have made me do something that I didn't think I would do for a sedan, and that's catch myself staring at it. This car, the proportions, the styling, the way it sits, its beauty, its power, its elegance, its classic and modern all rolled into one. I couldn't even tell you what my favorite part of the car is. I have to say the rear end treatment definitely is up there, but the roof's profile is unbelievable. The quad light treatment all around, front and back, and the sides, the LEDs. They've absolutely grown on me. I mean, you have to agree with me that this car is unique and stunning, and honestly, yes, because it is brand new and there are very few on the road at the moment, it is turning a lot of heads, and with reasons. With reason. I've said in the past that the Crest Girl may be a little overbearing, but honestly now this is 3 Genesises, anyway, that I've reviewed in the last few months, GV80 and G90, and absolutely it's become the face of Genesis for me. It is immediately recognizable and it says so much. Pricing, again, like the GV80 and the G90, the way these cars are planned, the product planning is completely brilliant. In Canada, it's simple. It's a G80 2.5 Turbo Advanced, $66,000. Or a 3.5 Turbo Prestige for $76,000. The latter is the one you were looking at. All-wheel drive is standard. Essentially, it's got everything plus everything else, and then the Prestige has just a little bit more of everything. In the US, it's a little bit different. Pricing starts for the 2.5 Turbo at $47,700. That's mainly because the packages are a little bit different and all-wheel drive is an option. So the equivalent to the 3.5 Turbo all-wheel drive Prestige in the US is $62,250, but then you have to tack on $5,400 for the Prestige package. Do the math, pricing is fairly similar. So what do you get for that price? Well, it's 14.5-inch display on the inside. With the Prestige, you get the 12.3-inch IP, 20-inch wheels, soft closed doors, remote park assist, Napa leather, heated cooled seats, 21-inch speaker, Lexicon audio. Anyway, it's completely and absolutely beautiful. I mean, loaded. I love how the Crest logo kind of shows up in the tailpipes. Normally I would find that a little bit overbearing and maybe exaggerated, but it's fantastic. I love the font. There's the whole Crest grill again, kind of stretched across. Let's do the usual walk around. There's your power trunk opening, which is standard. That reveals 371 liters of trunk space, or just over 13 cubic feet. It's generous enough. It's a good size for the size of the car. Now obviously this is a family vehicle for the week, so it's got locked doors. Forgot to change that. We'll leave that open. It's got the kids' seats inside, but you're starting to get an idea. I think fit and finish the amount of space. There is tons of room right there. You won't be able to fit a third person in between the two baby seats, but whatever. That's not really what this car is about. You have lovely haptic feedback HVAC controls in the back. This I love too. Let's just focus on the front. Just look at the door panels. The combination of the two tones of brown, the wood, slight chromed or actual, more like a brushed matte aluminum finish. It's just gorgeous. And the Lexicon speaker grills, it's the details, the attention, the craftsmanship is just fantastic. And obviously it carries on throughout the interior. The seats, these are actually, I think it's 16-way power adjustable with an extendable lower seat cushion. Let's just slide right on in and start her up. So here's a 12.3-inch instrument panel display. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera like this, but it actually has like a 3D imagery type of, there's a depth to the gauges. They look like they're behind the front and middle part of the screen. It's really, really cool. And when you get closer to it, that's why I'm thinking it's not working. I can't tell by looking at the screen on my phone if you can see it, but look, it's configurable. Everything shows up there. There's the 14.5-inch display, which is wonderful. Like the GV80, it's a little bit far, and I drive very close to the steering wheel. Again, like the GV80 though, the fit, the stitching, the Napa leather, the contrast surfaces, the materials, it's absolutely opulent. HVAC controls, extremely straightforward, very easy to access, superb haptic feedback. And I don't know if you noticed, probably not because I didn't focus on it, but this is obviously off. When the car is off, when you turn it on, it pops up very quickly and you can select, whatever you want to select very rapidly. So it doesn't have to load up before you have access to all of it. Wireless charger, right, audio controls. This is the other option to using the touch screen. Is your transmission shifter controller. There are drive modes, and I'll tell you all about them very shortly. Look, this is an absolutely premium, gorgeous automobile. I don't think there's, on visibility is great too. There isn't a bad angle anywhere that Genesis has cut a corner on. They've not done anything cheaply. Just you won't be able to see the texture, but the material for the headliner is beautiful. Anyhow, enough gushing. Let's just go for a spin. And you know what? It's just more gushing from here on in. There are so many reasons why the G80 is a fantastic automobile. First, with all-wheel drive being standard in Canada, which makes so much sense. We did have a little bit of snow earlier this week, which means that I got to experience firsthand how heavily rear-wheel biased this all-wheel drive system is, which means that it's just lots and lots of grinning fun at all times, but it's extremely efficient. Front end gets the power when needed, and it just pulls you right out of wherever you are, or it keeps you going in a direction you probably should be going, or at least, you know what I mean. Look, the 3.5 twin turbocharged V6, like the GV80, is very, very powerful. 375 horsepower at 5,800 RPM, 391 pound-feet of torque from 1,300 to 4,500 RPM. It just pulls and pulls and pulls so hard. The 8-speed automatic transmission is always doing exactly what it needs to be doing. It's completely, it's seamless and flawless, or at least it has been all week. I cannot find anything wrong with that. Now the ride quality. That's the real good news, and I kind of feel really good about what I said for the GV80 last week, the Prestige. You see, the Prestige G80 has 20-inch wheels. The GV80 has 22-inch wheels. Both have the electronically controlled suspension. the weight difference between the GV80 and the G80 is between 400 and 500 pounds, depending on a few things. These are Genesis numbers. I'm thinking 15% of that, maybe up to 20, is due to the wheels and tires alone. So what am I saying? I thought that the GV80 with the electronic control suspension and the 22-inch wheels it could have used a little bit more cushioning, a little bit more compliance at the very top end of the suspension's travel. I am elated to report that with the 20-inch wheels in this vehicle, I'm getting excited. The ride quality is uber plush, fantastically comfortable. There is plenty of compliance. There is just enough plushy give. It's fantastic because unlike the G90, which has a similar setup, it was extremely soft. I adored it, don't get me wrong. But this G80 being a, how would you describe it? Not a full-size luxury Uber sedan. It's a mid-size luxury sedan. So you want the mildest sense of dynamic driving possibility, which again, I'm happy to report that this car also has. The steering is fantastic, but you always have this ultra plush ride. I love it. I absolutely love it. And about the drive modes, I've left it in comfort, right? There's comfort, sport, eco, and custom. I didn't even set a custom, which is customary for me. No, it's been in comfort, and I've just been enjoying the serene sense of well-being and comfort and compliance from this car. I am adoring it. There's one other thing. I didn't mention it in my GV video because although both GVs displayed the same thing, I knew I was driving this the following week, so I'm going to say it now. The major flaw, in my opinion, in the driving experience for these vehicles, and this is really just me because I'm looking for stuff, is the brake pedal. It is completely detached from everything that is going on. I've experienced some brake-by-wire and other cars, and usually you do get progressive resistance to the amount of pressure you're putting on the pedal. This one and the GV80s, it's as though you're pushing on nothing. In fact, you can't rely on what you feel through the pedal. You have to rely on how the car is responding to the amount of brake pressure you're putting on the pedal. All that to say is that I personally am not a fan of the brake pedal feel and responsiveness, but obviously it works really, really well. Quite frankly, I don't know, for the driving experience, I don't think I mentioned the steering wheel in the interior walk-around type portion of my video, but I really like the steering wheel compared to the one in the GV80, which I compared to a Melon. This one's got like nice grips for, bad habit driving like that. Yeah, the sense of comfort, of power, of refinement, speed, it's just all there. This car is fantastic. It is, oh goodness, dare I say it, it's a nicer ride than the A6 all-road I drove. Now the road is completely broken, that's why the phone is moving and shaking. It has nothing to do with the car itself. It's actually a nicer, plusher ride than the A6 all-road I drove a few weeks ago, which almost hurts me to admit, but this is just an exceptional automobile. More comfortable and refined than pretty much everything that you can buy that comes from Germany. This is huge. if you're in a market for a luxury sedan, the only question you have to ask yourself is, how do you feel about the Genesis brand? Because in a blind taste test, look at this, I'm in comfort, and that went, I mean, there's a little bit of body roll, but it's just enough to remind you that, you know, the car is moving as speeds are being held on to as you go through an on-ramp. Yeah, how you feel about the brand. That's the only thing. Everything else about this car is fantastic.